Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our today's session is about ages of English literature. You can say it is about history of English literature. So historically हम इसको मुख्तलिफ जो इराज के अंदर या पीरियड्स के अंदर डिवाइड करते हैं. We will discuss about all of those periods जिसके अंदर हमने देखा कि there is a period of old age, then middle age, देन मॉडर्न एज रेनेसांस पीरियड्स को भी हम डिस्कस करेंगे, विक्टोरियन पीरियड्स को हम डिस्कस करेंगे, एंग्लो सैक्सन पीरियड को हम डिस्कस करेंगे विच इज़ एक्चुअली अ पार्ट ऑफ ओल्ड एज. सो इन दिस लेक्चर वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर एंड हाउ दैट लिटरेचर is being developed or created, which is actually right now, and we are studying it in our courses or in our subjects. So in तमाम के बारे में we will discuss today. So this lecture is about ages of English literature, and while starting about English literature, the literature which is distinctly written in English language as opposed to different languages. So English literature includes literature composed in English by writers not necessarily from England nor primarily English speaking nations. So you can't say that English literature is only and only belongs to English or Englishmen or the persons who are actually inhabiting in Britain. So when we look into the literature of English, so it may started from Britain, but more than starting from Britain, it is also from America. So ये आपको मुख्तलिफ जगह से इसकी हिस्ट्री के हवाले से मिलेगा. So English literature includes literature composed in English by writers not necessarily from England nor primarily English speaking nations. So more than English speaking nations, it is from other countries also. और जब हम दूसरे मुल्कों की बात करते हैं तो उन दूसरे मुल्कों में the country which is actually the first one from where the English literature is came into being और वो अमेरिका है. So until the early 19th century, this deals with the literature from Britain written in English. Then America starts to produce major writers and works in literature. And in the 20th century, America and Ireland produced many of the most significant works of literature in English. After the World War II, writers from Britain Empire also began to challenge writers from Britain. So जो ब्रिटिश एम्पायर के अंदर मुख्तलिफ जो ममालिक थे वहाँ से भी इंग्लिश लिटरेचर के ऊपर फिर काम जो है वो स्टार्ट होना शुरू हो गया. जब ये सारी बात आ जाती है तो देन कम्स द एंग्लो सैक्सन पीरियड विच इज फ्रॉम 449 टू 1066 BC. एंग्लो सैक्सन पीरियड जो है कौन सा है? सो एंग्लो सैक्सन term applied to the English speaking inhabitants of Britain from around the middle of the 50th century until the time of the Norman conquest, when the Anglo-Saxon line of English kings came to an end. So इसकी मैंने पहले भी आपसे I have discussed that Anglo-Saxon term applied to the English-speaking inhabitants of Britain. From where they came? They actually came from North यूरोपियन कंट्रीज जो है या नॉर्थ यूरोपियन एरिया के अंदर से वो आए. और these are said to be the Germanic people or a cultural group who inhabited England from the 5th century to the time of Norman conquest. जो है Norman conquest कौन है इसके बारे में अगर हम जानना चाहें, so Norman conquest of England was the 11th century invasion. Like I have discussed that Anglo-Saxon period was 449 to 1066. So in 11th century Norman conquest he was invaded Britain and occupied England by an army made up of Normans. So वो जो लोग थे, वो जो ग्रुप था जो उसके साथ थे, they were said to be the Normans, Britons, Flemish and men from other French provinces, and are led by Duke of Normandy, later styled William the Conqueror. तो ये जो विलियम दी कंकर जो ड्यूक ऑफ नॉर्मेंडी था, और उसके साथ ये मुख्तलिफ इलाके से जो लोग थे, नॉर्मन्स, ब्रिटन्स, फ्लेमिश एंड मैन फ्रॉम द फ्रेंच प्रोविंसेस, दे आल एक्चुअली occupied England and defeated Anglo-Saxon kings जो, अब एंग्लो-सैक्सन किंग्स जो हैं ये मुख्तलिफ इनकी एक पूरी जो एक दौर चलता है जिसके अंदर जो है इन्होंने ब्रिटेन के ऊपर हुकूमत की। सो इनको फिर शिकस्त दी जाती है और उसके बाद फिर ये नॉर्मन कंक्वेस्ट का दौर आता है। Bede tells us that the Anglo-Saxons came from Germania. Now, what is Germania? Germania was a large historical region in north-central Europe during the Roman era, which was associated by Roman authors with the Germanic people. So, Germania जो नॉर्थ सेंट्रल यूरोप के अंदर इलाका था और जहाँ से ये लोग जो हैं they migrated to Britain and then inhabited there and ruled Britain at time. That is from 5th century to 11th century. So the languages spoken by the inhabitants of Germania were a branch of the Indo-European family of languages, which linguists believe developed from a single language spoken from 5,000 years ago in an area that has never been identified. So ये जब हम इसके बारे में देखते हैं कि ये कहाँ से, किस दौर से, किस तरह से ये इंग्लिश हमारे सामने जो है वो मार्ज़ वजूद में आ जाती है, तो इस हवाले से जब देखते हैं तो लैंग्वेजेस स्पोकन बाय inhabitants of Germania were a branch of Indo-European family of languages which linguists believe developed from a single language spoken some 5,000 years ago in an area that has never been identified, and perhaps some say that that is the area of Caucasus. ये कोकाकस क्या था? That's कोकासिया भी इसको बोलते हैं. So Caucasus or Caucasia is a region between Black Sea and Caspian Sea and mainly occupied by Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia and parts of Southern Asia. आजकल you all have known about that where Azerbaijan and Armenia situated last year जो है, that is 3 to 4 months ago. There was a fight between Armenia and Azerbaijan. इन दोनों के दरमियान जो है वो जंग भी चल रही थी. So these are actually the countries along with Georgia and some parts of South Russia जिसको के Caucasus बोलते हैं, and that's around Black Sea and Caspian Sea. So यहाँ से हिस्ट्री में मिलती है कि the people actually belongs to North Central Europe, and also the people that's from Black Sea and Caspian Sea, or area of Black Sea and Caspian Sea mainly occupied by Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia and parts of southern Russia. उस इलाके से ये लोग कहीं ना कहीं ये चले और चलते चलते जर्मेनिया, और जर्मेनिया से फिर ब्रिटेन के अंदर आते हैं, और फिर ब्रिटेन के अंदर ये जो लैंग्वेज है ये फिर डेवलप होती है. सो लैंग्वेजेस स्पोकन बाय द इनहैबिटेंट्स ऑफ जर्मेनिया वर ए ब्रांच ऑफ इंडो यूरोपियन फैमिली ऑफ लैंग्वेजेस व्हिच linguistics have developed from a single language spoken some 500 or 5,000 years ago in an area that has never been identified. Perhaps you can say that is an area which is called as Caucasus. के वहाँ पर ये जो है कहीं ये ज़बान जो है वो बोली जाती थी, और वहाँ से ये लोग जो हैं वो इकट्ठे हुए और फिर एक लैंग्वेज की शक्ल में हमारे सामने आ गए. सो एंग्लो सैक्सन लिटरेचर जो है, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट दैट लिटरेचर, दैट इज द ओल्ड इंग्लिश लिटरेचर और एंग्लो सैक्सन लिटरेचर, क्योंकि वन ऑफ द ओल्डेस्ट, दैट इज नेवर बिफोर देयर बीन any type of English literature that has been identified right now. So the oldest English literature that has been identified is the Anglo-Saxon literature. So Old English, we can say that it is a old English literature or Anglo-Saxon literature that encompasses literature written in Old English in Anglo-Saxon England in the period after the settlement of Saxon and other Germanic tribes in England, after the withdrawal of Romans and ending soon after the Norman quest in 1066. तो एंग्लो सेक्सन लिटरेचर जो है ये रोमन एम्पायर जो थी, रोमन एम्पायर के खात्मे के बाद जो है ये फिर एंग्लो सेक्सन का पीरियड जो है वो स्टार्ट होता है और ये फिर ख़त्म होता है नॉर्मन कंक्वेस्ट के ऊपर 1066 के अंदर. So Anglo-Saxon influenced English literature when they brought with them a rich tradition of oral literature steeped in their customs, pagan beliefs and rituals. ये सारी चीज़ें, all those things actually came with Anglo-Saxon people जो है, Germanic people जो है, जब ये ब्रिटेन के अंदर जो है वो inhabited होते हैं. So they take up with their customs, or they take their customs, pagan beliefs and rituals with them, and all of these actually contributed to develop a rich tradition of oral literature. And so Anglo-Saxon influenced English literature when they brought with them a rich tradition of oral literature steeped in their customs, pagans' beliefs, and rituals. So the lyric and epic poetry they wrote told of the hardships of survivors and the importance of courage in performing heroic deeds. It dignified the difficulties and dangers faced by the warriors before they succeed in their heroic feat. So, जितनी भी उनकी लिरिक और एपिक पोइट्री है, इसके अंदर ये सारा तज़किरा हमें मिलता है कि हाउ दे actually fought with the people, fought with the environment, and fought with the hardships, and finally survived uh, with their courage. और ये सारा करते करते दे रीच टू इंग्लैंड एंड देन वहाँ पहुँचने के बाद वहाँ पर फिर वो हुकूमत भी करते हैं. सो ये सारी चीज़ें उनकी जो जितने भी उनकी ये हार्डशिप्स हैं वो फिर लिटरेचर के अंदर मिलती है. सो lyric and epic poetry they wrote told of the hardship of survival and the importance of courage in performing heroic deeds. A majority of their literature is on lyric and epic poetry. सो ये एंग्लो सेक्शन पीरियड के अंदर हमें मिलता है. सो ओल्ड इंग्लिश डायलेक्ट्स की जब बात करें, so the language spoken by the Anglo-Saxon at the time of their migration to Britain was probably more or less uniform. However, Old English develops into four major dialects. At that time when जिसका कि हम तस्करा कर रहे हैं, that is the period of Anglo-Saxon. So at the time of Anglo-Saxon period, when they migrated to Britain, वहाँ मोर और लेस जो है कोई यूनिफॉर्म लैंग्वेज तो है, बट ओवर द टाइम वहाँ जो चार तरह की मेजर जो ज़ुबानें हैं वो उस वक्त बोली जा रही थी. फर्स्ट वन इज़ दी नॉर्थ एम्ब्रियन that is spoken north of the river Humber. So नॉर्थ एम्ब्रियन एक लैंग्वेज थी. दूसरी जो है वो मर्शियन थी, स्पोकन इन मिडलैंड्स. थर्ड वन इज केंटिश, स्पोकन इन केंट in the far south eastern part of the island, and the fourth one is West Saxon, spoken in the southwest. So ये चार तरह की जो लैंग्वेजेस थी जो कि ओल्ड इंग्लिश डायलेक्ट्स जिसे हम कह सकते हैं जो उस वक्त यहाँ इस्तेमाल होती थी ब्रिटेन के अंदर. नॉर्थम्ब्रियन, मर्शियन, केंटिश और वेस्ट सैक्सन जो. So some significant literary works in that period, उसके अंदर जो चंद एक काम होते हैं इनकी हमें कोई ऐसा हिस्ट्री तो नहीं मिलती who was the writer of those, but कुछ ना कुछ चीज़ें हमें इसके हवाले से मिलती हैं. The first one is Ecclesiastical History of English People and Sydenham बाई बेड, इसकी पहले भी हमने जिक्र किया। इसी तरह से एंग्लो सेक्शन क्रॉनिकल है, दी वंडरर है, डर्स लेमेंट है, द ड्रीम ऑफ द रोड्स है, द बैटल ऑफ मेल्डोन है, एंड बेवुल्फ है, लोन सर्वाइविंग एपिक ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर। ये एक्चुअली जितनी भी ये उस दौर की हमें लिटरेरी वर्क्स मिलते हैं, हमें इनके राइटर्स का अक्सर का पता नहीं चलता। So majority of those works are there, but don't have any idea who was the writer of exactly writer of those works. And Domain's Lament is an ancient Anglo-Saxon poem, often called simply Dur. It appears in the extra book, which has been dated to around 960 960 AD to 990 AD. However, the poem may be considerably older than the manuscript, since many ancient poems were passed down orally for generations before being written down. So, like the Doors Lament, many of the other poems are also there, and those poems are written in some type of manuscripts without having the name of the author of those poems. So, in Anglo-Saxon period, majority of the work that is actually done in literature, uh, we don't know who is actually the original writer of those poems, or we don't know from where that literature came into being, or who is exactly the writer of those literary works. So anonymous type of writers are there, जिनके साथ ये मुंसलिक हैं इन जो poems के नेम जो। इसी तरह से ड्रीम ऑफ द रोड। So a dream of the road is a Christian poem in the corpus of Old English literature and an example of the genre of dream poetry. Like most English poetry, it is written in alliterative verses. Road is from Old English word road, pole, or more specifically, uh, crucifix. So crucifix, you better know what is crucifix is. A crucifix is an image of Jesus on the cross, as distinct from a bare cross. So that is called as crucifix. So the dream of Rood is the old Christian poem in the corpus of Old English literature. जब हम इसके अंदर देखते हैं तो that is actually a poem which is written in alliterative verses. जो alliterative verses क्या हैं? So alliterative verses उर्दू के अंदर भी हम इसको किस तरह से बयान करें, इंग्लिश में अगर मैं इसको वाज़े कर दूं, so alliterative verses in which words are repeatedly again and again, our words are repeated again and again with the same sounds is called as alliterative verses. Like an example is Lisa loved to look at lizards in the aquarium. Lisa loved to look at lizards in the aquarium. In that sentence, L is repeated again and again and almost 4 times, like Lisa, then loved, then look, then lizard. So, जो alliterative words are words that repeat the same sound in a line or sentence. So, it's, likewise, the poems are written in alliterative verses. So, each line in the poem has at least 4 stressed syllables or alternative words. So, that's why it is called as alliterative verses. So Dream of Roads is written on alliterative words likewise. Battle of Meldon. Battle of Meldon is also written on the same pattern. Battle of Meldon is the name given to Old English poem of uncertain dates celebrating the real Battle of Meldon of 1999. So this poem is written about a war which is fought and called as the Battle of Meldon. Uh, that is written on that war in 1991, but now don't know who is exactly the writer of that poem. So that is an old English poem of uncertain dates. When it is written, don't know. but that is written on the Battle of Melton of 1991. That means it is written after 1991. So that is actually war which is fought between Anglo-Saxon army and Viking जो है Viking raid जो है इन दोनों ये लड़ी गई और उसमें जो एंग्लो सेक्शन थे they were failed to defend their area. So only 325 lines of the poem are extant. Both the beginning and the ending are lost. When we look into that Battle of Meldon इस poem को हम देखते हैं the Battle of Meldon poem, it actually has more than 325 lines, but rightly right now it has only 325 lines. The starting lines and same as the ending lines have been missed. Those are lost. Only the mid area of that poem is available, and the first time that poem was published in 1726. So written in 1990s or 1000 century 100 century 1000 century में ये लिखी गई और पब्लिश जो है ये 18वीं सदी में जाके हुई. So firstly it was published in 1726. So Battle of Meldon was another old English poem. The next is Beowulf, a lone surviving epic of English literature. So Beowulf is an old English epic poem consisting of 3182 alliterative lines. So it is a long poem or epic poem consisting of 3182 alliterative lines. It is one of the most important and most often translated works of Old English literature. So Beowulf, that's the epic poem which has more than 3,000 alternative lines, and that is one of the most translated works of Old English literature. So these are the some of the literary works that has been done during Anglo-Saxon period or the old period. So significant literary genre were chronicles, as I have discussed you. Chronicles is a historical account of events arranged in chronological order as in a timeline. And the second one is formulaic poetry, refers to the application of hypotheses of Milman Parry and Albert Lords on the Homeric questions to verse written in Old English. And the third one is epic poems, like we have discussed about an epic poem of Beowulf. An epic poem is a long narrative poem that is usually about heroic deeds and events that are significant to the culture of the poet. Many ancient writers used epic poetry to tell tales of intense adventure and heroic feats. And all the epic poems are long and having more than 3000 lines of poems, 3000 lines of verses or lines or verses you can say. So that's why it is an epic poem, having a long narrative poem usually about heroic deeds and events that are significant to the culture of the poet. So the significant work or literary genre at Anglo-Saxon period were of three types. One is the chronicles, the second one is formulaic poetry, and third one is the epic poem or tribal scope जिसे हम कह सकते हैं. So some significant literary works in this period are came from anonymous writers. I have discussed earlier that majority of the work also, although it is there and it is actually uh, translated in many other languages also, and also that's published again and again, but that work don't have any name of the writers. That is available in different type of manuscripts without having any names or without having any exact date when it was firstly written. So majority of the literary work in this period are came from anonymous writers. So the next period is the medieval periods. So medieval periods, that is from 1066 BC to 1485 AD. So that is a period which came after Anglo-Saxon period. So these were the original ingredients of English life and letters. The third of these was brought into England from northern France by William the Conqueror and his Norman knights and churchmen, castle and feudalism, joust and duels, cathedral and monasteries, chivalry and adventures were the contribution of these uh, aristocratic newcomers. So, when we talk about the medieval periods, so in that medieval periods, all these actually combine together and become the medieval period, from where uh, from these original ingredients of English life and letters, the third of these were brought from England, brought into England from northern France by the Williams the Conqueror and his Norman knights. So yeah, all actually combined together to make medieval period. So Middle English lasts up to until 1470s, when the Chancery Standard, a form of English, a London-based English, became widespread, and the printing press regularized the language. The prolific Geoffrey Chaucer, whose works were written in Chancery Standard, was the first poet to have been buried in Poets' Corner of Westminster Abbey. Among his many works, which includes the Book of Duchess, the House of Fame, the Legend of Good Woman, and Troilus and Cressades, Chaucer is best known today for the Canterbury Tales. So that is said to be the Middle English period. So some significant literary works of this period were Sir Gawain's and Green Knights, Sir Gibbons and Green Knights, Morty D. Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory, The Vision of the Piers Plowman by William Langland, The Owl and the Nightingale, The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. And The Canterbury Tales is one of the famous work of Geoffrey Chaucer, along with the other significant literary period, literary works of this period. So Sir Gawain's and the Green Knights है, Morty the Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory है, The Vision of the Piers Plowman by William Langland है, The Owl and the Nightingale है, and Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer जो है, that is one of the famous work that is actually written by Geoffrey Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer, who is also said to be the father of English literature. Uh, I think इसका कहीं ना कहीं जिक्र जो है again it comes into our presentation about Geoffrey Chaucer. So significant literary genre were elegant, religious liturgy, and narrative romance. There are five type of genre actually at that time, or even six type of genre in Middle Ages. The first one is the elegy. Elegy is a sad poem usually written to praise and express sorrow for someone who is dead. So elegy is a type of poem which is written in a sad way, usually written to praise or express sorrow for someone who is dead. The second one is religious liturgy. Liturgy is the customary public worship performed by a religious group. So that is actually type of poems which is actually orally performed during a worship or public worship. So customary public worship performed by a religious group, and at that time when it is actually used as said to be liturgy. And the third one is narrated romance is a genre in literature that involves a mysterious, adventurous, or spiritual storylines where the focus is on a quest that involves bravery and strong values, not always a love interest. When we talk about narrative romance, so we think that narrative romance is about some type of poems or some type of literature that involves love stories or love interest. But other than narrative romance is a genre in literature that involves a mysterious, adventurous, or spiritual storylines where the focus is on a quest that involves bravery and strong values, not always a love interest. So the fourth one is lay or less. That is the fourth literary genre in Middle Ages or Middle Period. A short narrative or lyrical poem, usually in octosyllabic couplets, intend to be sung. So couplets, what are the couplets? When we talk about couplets, so couplets is a literary device that can be defined as having two successive rhyming lines in a verse and has the same meter to form a complete thought. So two successive rhyming lines, any poem, or literary device or literature that have two successive rhyming lines or verse in a verse is said to be as couplet. So a short narrative or lyrical poem, usually in octosyllabic couplets, intend to be sung is called as lay or lays. That is the fourth literary genre that were being developed or written in that medieval period. The fourth one is Arthurian romance. So, derived the narrative was formed from 12th century France. The anonymous 14th century English romance, Sir Gawain and Green Knights, is the most widely recognized example of Arthurian romance. And the last one is Fabio. Fabio is a comic, often anonymous tale written by jongleurs in northeast France between 1150 to 1400. So these are the five types of, six type of uh, literary genre that were being written in medieval period. The first one is elegy, the second one is religious liturgy, the third one is narrative romance, the fourth one is lay or less, the fifth one is Arthurian romance, and fifth one is fabula. So that is actually the work which is actually done during medieval period, and that period one of the English writer uh, who is said to be the father of English literature is Geoffrey Chaucer. We have already discussed about his work that he has written in this respect. uh, so that is the Canterbury Tales, which is written by Geoffrey Chaucer, and on that writing, that is one that is contributed, he is said to be the father of English literature. Geoffrey Chaucer, who lived from 1343 to 1400. So Geoffrey Chaucer, outstanding in English poet, uh, before William Shakespeare, whose Canterbury Tales rank as one of the greatest poetic works in English. Right now we are actually majority of the people talks about William Shakespeare, but before William Shakespeare, Geoffrey Chaucer was the outstanding English poet, and he is ranked as one of the greatest poet in the world, or greatest poet in English literature, and he has greatest poetic works in English also. That's why he is said to be the father of English literature. So born in middle class family, he was said to be fluent in French, Latin, and Italian. His first important poem, the Book of Duchess, a dream vision of elegy for Blanche, Duchess of Lancaster, who died for play. So he was one of the greatest poets of English literature. Born in middle class family, he was said to be fluent in French, Latin, and Italian, and later he went to Italy also. Uh, Born in middle class family, but his first important poem, the Book of Duchess, a dream vision of elegy for Blanche, Duchess of Lancaster, who died of play. So his writing was on genre which is said to be the elegy. Elegy is a type of genre or poem written in a sorrow mood of someone who is no more in this world. Geoffrey Chaucer was one of the great poets. Like other major poems were the House of Fame, the Parliament of Fowls, the Legend of Good Woman. When we look into some of his prosic works, so prose में इसने लिखी जो treatise on the astrolabial, short poem. He has also written short poems, also the complaint of Chaucer to his purse, truth, gentleness, Marcel's beauty, lack of steadfastness, and against women unconstant. So these are some of the literary works which are actually written by Geoffrey Chaucer. So Rhyme Royals or House of Fame, these are one of his famous writings or literary works. After that period comes the period of English Renaissance or Elizabethan period, which is of between 1485 to 1625. That is the third period. So English Renaissance or the Elizabethan period. Uh, that is the period which is said to be the most splendid period in the history of English literature. So as we came to the nearer centuries, literature developed in a splendid way. So the most splendid period of English literature history was the Elizabethan period or Renaissance period, which is between 1485 to 1625. So, in this period, literary works were characterized by immense vitality and richness. So, you can say that this is actually the rebirth of English literature. Although the Anglo-Saxon period was very much there, and then the middle uh, period, which is called as the middle age of the English literature, but that period, which is called as the Elizabethan period, is the most splendid period in the history of English literature, and it is said to be the rebirth of English literature, and that is in 15th century. Literary works were characterized by immense vitality and richness, the flowering of poetry and the golden age of drama is there, and the most noted poet of this period was William Shakespeare, and his works are there. So why it is actually most splendid period? Because in this period the printing press was there, so everything that is actually uh, written by the authors is there, and that is actually uh, saved in writings or in printing way. But before that period, most of the literature is said to be the anonymous literature, or we don't know who is the exact author of that literary work. So that's why it is said to be the most splendid period of history of English literature, because most of the English literature is available right now with the names of the authors of that English literature is developed during this era, during this period, and one of the most poet of this period was William Shakespeare, because in this century printing took place, or printing was invented. So Sir Patrick contribution was also there in this respect. So Queen Elizabeth, the most regal monarch at the age of monarchy, was the key figure in influencing the life of her constituents. So she was a great advocate of peace and order, the high age of aristocracy, the golden age of English literature. Significant dates in that period were 1492, the discovery of America is an opening of entirely new world. When we talk about this period of Elizabethan, uh, in which some significant things happen, and one of the significant things that happened was the discovery of America in 1492. Then in 1534, the Act of Supremacy, the sundering of the English Church from Rome, that happened in 1534. Then in 1558, the accession of Elizabeth I, the beginning of an age of comparative toleration, that happened in 1558. So these were the significant dates that actually appeared in literature. So there was an increase in the number of translations, such as the North translation of Plutarch's Lives, uh, Fair's uh, Virgil 1588, Golding's Bird 1565, and Chapman's Homer 1595. So these translations opened out new realms of wonder and romance and provided models for creative writing of Englishmen. So a lyrical impulse, strong and sweet, began and pervade English literature. Most of the greater poets contributed to poetry of that time or of time is in that period. So gradual appearance of several literary features in that area were which has been discussed in this slide. So, another gradual appearance of several literary features was the drama assumed a commanding position in the writing of the day. William Shakespeare rose to fame and honor. The technique of poetry, the skill in the management of meter show great advancement. The rise of prose writings. So there was a vast travel of body of travel literature. So there was even an approach to prose fictions in that period also. So that is what the gradual appearance of several literary features in which drama assumed a commanding position in the writing of the day. And in this regard, William Shakespeare rose to fame and honor. He has great literary works in drama also. So some significant literary works in this period were Fair Queen's Schaeffer's Calendar by Edmund Spenser, Laws of Ecclesiastical Polity by Richard Hooker, Book of Martyrs by John Fox, Mephistopheles by Samuel Daniel, The Nymphs Replied to the Shepherd by Sir Walter Raleigh, and William Shakespeare's works were most of the significant literary works that's actually done during this period. So these are the six major literary works in that period. And in that period, one of the English poet which is said to be the English national poet was William Shakespeare. He was born on 26 April 1564. Actually, that is the date which is uh, some way to other believed to be his date of birth, but majority believe that his birth date is unknown. Stanford upon Avon, Warwickshire, England, where he is born, and then died on 23rd April 1616, aged 52. Stanford upon Avon, Warwickshire, England. And his occupation is playwright, poet, and actor. So William Shakespeare uh, was an English poet and playwright and is considered a key member of the English literature canon. Shakespeare's works includes 154 sonnets and 38 plays, while his earlier plays were comedies and histories. His later work focused on tragedy. For example, Macbeth, which is on tragic events. ये लिखा उसने. Shakespeare reputation grew after his death, and especially in 19th century when he became the world's most celebrated dramatist. Now his work is reinterpreted and performed around the world, and also his works are actually contributed are being used as syllabi in different वर्ड्स जहाँ पर के इंग्लिश को एज ए लिटरेचर जो है वो पढ़ाया जा रहा है. आल्सो इन पाकिस्तानी syllabus where English is being taught, William Shakespeare's part of literature is included in that syllabus also. So William Shakespeare's works were in different genre. One is comedy, then history, tragedy, and poetry. He has written some comedy works also, that alls well, that ends well, As You Like It, The Comedy of Errors, Chamberlain, Love Labour's Lost, Myers for Myers, The Merry Wives of Windsor, The Merchant of Venus, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Much Ado About Nothing, Pericles, Prince of Tyre, Taming of Shrew, The Tempest, Troilus and Cressida, Twelfth Night, Two Gentlemen of Verona, and Winter's Tale. So these are some of his comedy works, and in those comedy works, The Comedy of Errors is very reputed work that is written on comedy. Likewise, the comedy he has also written on history also, in which he wrote about Henry IV and Henry IV Part 1, Part 2, Henry V, then Henry VI Part 1, 2, 3, then Henry VIII, King John, then Richard II, Richard III. That is what the written works of Shakespeare. Also, he has written on tragedy, and his literature he has mostly written on tragedy, in which Antony and Cleopatra, one of his tragic work. इसी तरह से क्लोरियनस है, हेमलेट है, जूलियस कैसर है, किंग लियर है, मैकबेथ. His tragic work is Macbeth. Othello है, Romeo and Juliet, Timon of Athens, Titus Andronicus. That's one of his tragic works. Then he has also written some poetic uh, things also. So his poetic works are the sonnets, A Lover's Complaint, The Rape of Lucrece, Venus and Adonis, and finally Funeral Elegy by W.S. So he has written on four major genres in English literature, and that includes comedy, history, tragedy, and poetry. And all of those works were actually greatly recognized by the whole world also. So, significant literary genre: sonnet, Elizabethan lyric, Elizabethan drama, historical poems, and pastoral romance. These are the significant literary genre in Elizabethan period. So after Elizabethan period, now comes the 17th century, or the Puritan period, which is from 1625 to 1700. So in that period, catastrophe struck Britain: the Civil War, the Black Plague, and the Great Fire of London disrupts the otherwise orderly existence of English people. So literature was permeated by the light-hearted cavalier of the Solomon Puritans. So the period of dissension and calamity was there during that period. So significant literary works during this period were done by John Milton, John Donne, Thomas Browne, Francis Bacon, Ben Jonson, and Andrew Marvell. So classical works during this period that is discussed before you is Aeropatica by John Milton है, Devotions by John Donne है, Religio Medici by Thomas Browne है, History of Henry VII by Francis Bacon है, Works by Ben Jonson है, The Garden by Andrew Marvell जो इस दौर में हुआ. Significant literary genre were restoration comedy and tragedy, metaphysical poetry, false pindaric or irregular odd and light prose. So four type of literary genre were there during this period. And after that period now comes the 18th century period of classicism. So classicism जो है which is said to be the new classical age, that is from 17th to 1800. So 18th century period है which is called as the period of classicism. uh, in that period, drawing of the age of reason. So in 18th century or period of classicism, drawing of the age of reason, the London become the center of the bustling city life. So classicism का ये जो period एक बनता है जहाँ पर literary mastered have their crafts and have written sophistication and finest prose written becomes popular. Periodicals and novels gain popularity and public acceptance, where the old age or middle age or the Elizabethan period or the Puritan periods. In that periods, the major works are done in a poetic way or in poetic literature. In that classicism or classical periods of 17 to 18, the stress shifted from poetic literature to the prose literature. So major works is done in a prose writing, and that's why the prose writing is become popular during this period. So literary mastered have their crafts and have written sophistication and uh, finesses. Prose writing becomes popular. The periodical and novels gained popularity and public acceptance. The periodicals became the origin of what we call now as clarity and public acceptance. So in this period, some significant literary works were The London Merchant by George Lillo, Conscious Lovers by Richard Steele, The Fair Penitent, The Tragedy of Jane Shore, The Tragedy of Lady Grey by Nicholas Rowe, The Distressed Mother by Ambrose Phillip, The Cato by Joseph Addison, The West Indian by Richard Cumberland, The Stoops to Conquer by Oliver Goldsmith, The Rivals School of Scandals by Richard Brinsley Sheridan. So these are some of the literary works that is actually done during the classicism uh, period of 17th to 18th century, in which The London Merchant was written by George Lilio, Conscious Lovers by Richard Steele, The Fair Penitent, The Tragedy of Jane Shore, The Tragedy of Lady Grey by Nicholas Rowe, The Distressed Mother by Ambrose Phillips, Cato by Joseph Addison, The West Indian by Richard Cumberland, The Stoops to Conquer by Oliver Goldsmith, The Revival School for Scandals by Richard Brinsley Sheridan. So that is the literary works done in that period. The significant literary genre were opera, ballad opera, pantomime, prose tragedy. These were some of the literary genre. So one of the literary genre was opera, the other was ballad opera, the third one pantomime, the fourth one is prose, and fourth one is the prose tragedy. Uh, the next period is romantic period. So romantic period is from 1800 to 1837. So this period, during this period, which is called as the romantic period, the golden age of the lyric poetry belongs to the youth. a literature of vigor and courage, love and wisdom, despair and hope. So that is a period when literature of vigor and courage, love and wisdom, despair and hope was being dwelled or being written by the author. So romantic poets pointed out to wild, unfathomable beauties of nature, the elusive supernatural vision of mystics, and the mysterious atmosphere of the legend that had eased such celestial light about the Middle Ages. So that is the Romantic period, which is said to be the golden age of lyric poetry, which actually belongs to the youth. So in that period of Romantic 18 to 1837, Queen Victoria came to throne. This romantic fever and somewhat burned itself out. Men had turned their attention to the far-reaching implications of the Industrial Revolution, which was at least transforming the entire service and structure of England. So, some of the significant literary works during this period were Society Castle by Thomas W. Robertson, Society Castle by Thomas Robertson, Widowers Houses by George Bernard Shaw. So George Bernard Shaw, another very famous name in English literature. Lady Windermere's Fan by Oscar Wilde, The Second Mrs. Tanqueray by Arthur Wynne Penrose, Son of Innocence and Experience by William Blake, Lyrical Ballads by William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge. So another name which is actually very famous in English literature is William Wordsworth. You have better known about his uh, literary works, which is also included in Pakistani syllabus of English also. So, lyric ballads by William Wordsworth was written during this period. So, the significant literary works also from Prometheus, Unbound by Percy Bysshe Shelley, To Psyche, Anne Greenson, Ora, To a Nightingale by John Keats. John Keats, another name in English literature, which is much more known to each and every person who has learned about English. Child, Lord Don John by Lord Byron, Sense and the Sensibility, Pride and the Prejudice, Mansfield Park, Pursuance by Jane Austen. So these were some of the significant literary works that was actually done during this period, जो मैंने आपके सामने डिस्कस किए. And the major literary genre during this period was heroic couplets and historical novels. So novelic work or prose was actually major type of genre which is written during this period. So two literary genre were there. One is the heroic couplets and the second one is historical novels. Then comes the Victorian period. Victorian period is from 1837 to 1900. So during this Victorian period, so Victoria I became a Queen of England in 1817, and 3 years after the death of Coleridge and 13 years before the death of Wordsworth. So she reigned until her own death in 1901. The reign of England of comparable length is that of Elizabeth I, that is 1558 to 1603, and like Elizabeth, Victoria had not only a political but a literary epoch named for her. So, Victorian period, the keynote of the age was 1851 Great Exhibition to London, a triumphant display intends to illustrate the superiority of England's scientific, social, and technological achievement. Uh, the great literary works during this period were the Pickwick Paper, Oliver Twist, David Copperfield, A Tale of Two Cities, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. So Charles Dickens has written The Pickwick Paper, Oliver Twist, David Copperfield, A Tale of Two Citizens, Great Expectations uh, by Charles Dickens, Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray, Pilgrimage Progress by John Bunyan, The Last Chronicle of Barset Barchester Towers, The Wardens by Anthony Trollope, Wuthering Heights by Emily Brontë. So these are some of the literary works during this period. The significant literary genre was novels, magazine serials, and dramatic dialogues, and all these things or all these literary works has been discussed to you before you are the novels or magazine serials dramatic dialogues. So these 18 works are based on these three genres, which is novel, magazine serials, and dramatic dialogues. And the last period, which is said to be the 20th century or modern period, which starts from 19 to present. 1901, Victoria I died, and after that period comes a period which is said to be the modern period or 20th century 21st century period. So literature in this period exemplifies the improved craft of masters. So the novel has flourished and writers have risen not only to popularity but to distinction as well. As the Victorian period, the stress was moved from poetic works to prose work, so that continued to the modern period also. And in that modern period, literature exemplifies the improved craft and masters, and novel has flourished and writers have risen not only to popularity but to distinction as well. So the emerging value of the modern times are embodied in the works of authors who defy the conventions of the old world. So science and technology became the basis for advancement, while orthodox beliefs are considered standard criteria for excellence. The emerging needs for radical changes became the order of the day, and radical changes were done during this period also. The significant literary works in this period were Jude, the obscure, far from maddening crowd, the Dynasts, the Return of Natives by Thomas Hardy. So these are works which is actually written by Thomas Hardy, The Jude, The Obscure, Far from Maddening Crowd, The Dynasts, The Return of Natives. Those novels are written by Thomas Hardy. The Tower, The Winding Stairs by W. B. Yeats, The Lyrical Ballads by William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge, The Almayes Folly, The Niger of the Narcissus by Joseph Conrad. So these are the names which are actually we found in our English literature nowadays, and the name of Thomas Hardy, the name of W.B. Yeats, the name of William Wordsworth, the name of Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the name of Jonas Conrad. We are, although we are not uh, dealing with English literature in our daily routine base, but yet we are aware of these names right now, and even the students of up to secondary level, they are also known to these names because some of their literary works are there in their syllabus also. So the significant literary journey during this period were novels and blank verses. So all the works that we have discussed were actually related to novels. So that's the today's session. So thank you for listening. Hope that it added into your knowledge. So that's it for today. Thank you. Thanks for listening.